This right here used to be a big field with weeds that were up to my nose. And I was here this summer and it was really, really thick. I mean, the deer could walk right through it. You would never even see the deer when he was in here. And what this is it's a beautiful crossing between one thick area and another thick area. And they would just cross right through this big CRP field, which actually is a power lines, but these weeds of goldenrod and autumn olives, they were about head high. Well, what somebody did though this summer is they came through and they mowed this whole thing. Now you've got this big open area like you see on TV. And in this particular spot where there's a lot of hunters, there's a lot of hunting pressure, these mature bucks are not going to want to cross this during daylight hours. If they do, they're not going to spend a lot of time in here. The other thing they did is they plowed this thing with one of these 3-point plows where it just turns the dirt over, and it creates a situation where the deer don't even want to walk across it. You can go in here and hardly find any deer tracks at all. The deer just don't like to walk across. It's like chisel plowing a field. And so, so this guy's done two major things that really wrecked his property, and that is he took all the cover down and then he plowed it like that so the deer don't want to cross. And they've got a ground blind set up just over here, and they're going to monitor this power line, and they're going to be absolutely disappointed. What they should have done is they should have left all the tall weeds at head high and then gone in there and just carved out really, really small food plots. If they wanted to put food plots in here, just carve out really small food plots. And that way you could have all these individual little food plots scattered throughout this thing all the way down, and then that'll allow different doe family groups to come out of the thick areas, and each one can have their own little food plot, and they're all secluded, and that way they can get away from the bucks. Because one thing that's going to happen in the fall is a mature buck is going to walk to the edge of the woods. He's not even going to step out here in this open area. He can step out to the edge of the woods, he can look out into this big wide open area, and he can see if there's any girls out here. He doesn't see any girls, guess what? He turns around and goes right back in the woods of where he came from. And the guy sitting in that blind's never even going to see that buck. So instead what they should have done is if they had all these little different isolated food plots scattered in this power line area, that buck would have not only could he not see all the does, but he knows he's going to have to go and check every single one of these does, these food plots for does. And so it's going to force that buck to spend a lot more time on his property, and it's going to give that guy in that blind down there a lot better chance on shooting that buck. So just an example of what not to do. So again, if you've got a big CRP field, instead of mowing it down flat, it's absolute worst thing you can do. It's going to take you another 2 to 3 years to get that to grow back up again to where it was, and basically you'll be starting from zero again. So just a tip on what not to do when you got a big CRP field.